It is my first day too, Evo. Yeah.
I think we're live.
Are we? I don't see on my YouTubes.
I see it.
Beautiful.
It says 20 seconds, 21, 22.
All right. We got exactly 0 people in the chat. Oh, whoa. We got 2 people in the chat already. Beautiful. All right. So this great idea belongs to Drew, a Vintage Legacy. He asked me to come live, wanted me to host. I said, no problem. I'm willing to talk about anything and everything, but I'm sure we're going to talk about FOMO and not being at the National. So, we got Hugo popping his cherry. First time going live. We got Dougie Fresh. And, of course, everyone knows Drew. We might have some special guests. I sent some text messages out to cats in Chicago, but they're probably too busy to respond. But I figure it might be fun to go virtually if someone answers the call. This is how it is.
If not, they're all dead to me anyway. So.
But we appreciate RJ Collects. I thought you guys were all in Chicago. Haha. I've done a couple of videos already saying how truly sad I am. I am so my wife just sees me moping around the house. Like, babe, don't worry. Cleveland is a different story. We're already looking at Airbnbs. Speaking about cats in Chicago, 4-Leaf is on in the chat saying what's up. Oh,
I saw it.
What are you gonna say, Dougie?
4-Leaf was Irish Claus driving with Reindeer Studios. They had a live stream where he was like green Santa Claus.
Yeah, I saw that.
You guys, I'm typing. So, Drew, whatever you want to talk about. I know this is your baby.
So
I can't type and talk at the same time. I'm too one-dimensional.
I know for Hugo, this is your first live. Doug and we text a bunch or some, but I don't think we've ever been on a live together. Not that I know.
I haven't been on a live with any of you guys, which is awesome.
Lou and I have done a few together, but so with the National this week, I don't know. I know how Lou's feeling about it because he's airing all his laundry. I mean, he is just sad. It's almost pathetic. But Hugo, you've never been to one. I know Doug's never been to one, and I've never been to one. Right?
Right. No.
So one of the things I kind of thought about was just like not always talking about the National. I mean, the National is a big one, obviously, but like any other like show experiences, because there's nothing quite like going to a show. And Doug, you had texted and said you don't do a lot of shows, but I don't know if that meant you've never done any or you had just a couple or whatever. And really, all I know about Hugo, as far as going, is the one that you guys did, and then you all ended up over at Lou's house. So,
yep.
I mean, like Doug, what's your experience with shows? I mean, you go to a lot. You've not been like a decades-long vintage collector, so I don't know kind of where you are.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of convention centers, so I just travel. I go when there's no show because it's off peak. No, I'm just bad joke. So anyway,
I get the bad joke. You were like, I don't get that one.
I was at a show. Like a month ago, and like a New York show, and I saw Dallas Strawberry walking down the hall. And I gave him, I knew he had just come back from autographs, so I didn't want to bother him too much, but I just gave him a nod, and he gave me a reluctant nod, like this has been a little too people-y for me today, which I kind of respect. So yeah, I was at a show. I've been at one show this year, and then before that, I was at a show as a kid. Other than that, I was at a show as a kid, and my favorite player back when I was young was Eric Davis, and I met Eric Davis at a card show, and he was my hero, and he was kind of a jerk at the time. And then Barry Larkin, who I knew, but wasn't nearly as big of a deal at the time. Couldn't have been nicer. And he was like, this is the end of the day for me. Why don't you take my pen to get a picture with everyone? One of the two is in the Hall of Fame now.
The right one, the nice guy.
I think, the nice guy, Barry.
They only let nice guys in. So
yeah, Barry was awesome, but Eric Davis had that. His peak time was really exciting. Yeah. So those kind of like my stories. Nod to Darryl Strawberry about a month ago, and then Barry Larkin being awesome when I was like 10.
Yeah. That's the thing about meeting a player, especially like I don't think I've ever stood in line to meet a player or anything like that, but I have met some people of fame, will say, and I'm always nervous, especially if it's like one of my guys, because if he's a jerk or having an off day, that's going to taint my memory. You know what I mean? But the truth is, they're all people, and they have good days and bad days, just like we do. And I don't know. I did TTM years ago, and it was amazing to me. Some people would just go above and beyond with like all this, the graciousness and stuff. And then other people, I'm like, what a jerk, And in fact, it's kind of like, I don't know. You know what? He's at the National. He could jump on, but he's not. But the whole thing with Dylan that he talked about in our text thread, Dylan's in Hawaii, or he lives in Hawaii, and he was at a little festival thing where his wife sells artwork or whatever,
like a market.
And and so there's a lot of tourists come in and out and look at the stuff, and he had his it was a Jackie Robinson baseball shirt on, and a woman, I don't know how old she was, she's like, oh, I need you to meet my dad, he used to play baseball. Brings him over, and it was Brett Butler. And Brett Butler, center fielder, played for the Braves, played for the Giants, the Dodgers back in the 80s and 90s. That guy could fly, if you don't know who Brett Butler is. But anyway, he was like super excited, and he like met him, took his picture, sent the picture to us or whatever. And then Brett Butler asked Dylan, he said, what's your address? I want to send you something. And he's like, no way. He's like geeking out, And then right before he left for the National early in the week, he gets this care package from Brett Butler with all this stuff signed. You know what, Dylan? I don't know if I'm glad I'm spilling the beans for Dylan. It's just part of my release program with my FOMO. But man, it's so cool, that Brett Butler did that.
Yeah.
And but on the other hand, I've got stories of guys. I'm like, it's like you go out of your way to be a jerk sometimes, and
right.
I don't know. So, what about you two? Have you met your hero at any point and then let down, disappointed, or excited about it? Go ahead.
I mean, I get it to a point. These guys, they put on pedestals. They get involved. Sometimes they're there's a time and place, right? If they're with their families, they're eating dinner. I expect, them to have their privacy, their moments with their family. But if they're out and about, they're walking from a training center to the field, or they're in work mode. They're going to work. I think it's different, especially if a kid or even an adult. We're paying good money to catch glimpses with these athletes. So there's a time and place for everything, right? But I remember I was in South Beach visiting my aunt, and we were just in one of the outdoor malls, and we were going to, I think it was Athletics Foot. It was like a Foot Locker. And Ken Griffey Jr. walks in. And me and my cousin are just like, and my father's like, what's going on? Who's he? My father was a boxer. He knows boxing. Like, who's this? I'm like, that's Griffey Jr. The whole reason I wear my hat backwards. And the guy, you could tell, he got pulled up, he got out, he was going to just buy whatever shoes, and he wasn't even going to try them on. He's just like, I think he said, get me size 12 of this shoe, or whatever. I think he had a game that evening. And we're just there, dumbfounded, not saying anything. And my father's like, because Griffey walked past us, knowing dang well he sees us, and we're seeing him, we're just like, like we're catching flies, as my mom would say. And My father's like, what? You're not going to say hi to the kids? You're not going to say hi to the kids right here? They love you. You can't shake their hand? And of course, Griffey's like, oh, I apologize. You know, he said, sorry. Quick little handshake. This was before cell phones. And, you know, we were just happy. Me and my cousin were just walking around the whole day. We're not washing this hand. We are never washing this hand. That was like my brief moment as a kid, you know, as an adult working. I worked the stadium a lot here at Ray J, Emily for different events. And, you know, but I'm in a more of a professional setting. So I won't approach or take photos unless they're like, hey, would you like a photo or this or the other? Just because I think it's a bad look. But I've never had a real negative experience. I saw a couple of things with Derek Jeter. I just saw Frank autograph collector, and he took a picture with Jeter, but Jeter looked like he didn't want to be there. He's promoting his business. I think he has a new grading company, and he was there for like an hour or so, very early, unless you were somebody that could help him. And this is me as a Yankee fan. I love Jeter. But there was a reason why he was never in the tabloids. He doesn't like to interact with people. He doesn't like to talk to people. He's not the most fan friendly unless you're paying for an exclusive event. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't really sign unless you catch him. And it's usually a kid. Like if an adult is asking for an autograph, he's never signing because he's in the Bay Area all the time. He used to have a house over here. Shoot, the house that Brady was living in was Jeter's. So Jeter, just looking at the pictures that Frank took, Frank was all smiling. Jeter's was like, just hanging out. Like, keep your space. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds familiar because I remember doing events for Jeter, and he's just in one spot. And he was like, yeah, we can take a photo, but stand over there. Like, no bro hug, no, just like, it's almost photoshopped in there, you know?
I think it's also kind of hard to be that big if you don't love it. You know, like, and Jeter is that big.
He's the guy, like, especially in New York, which that's why I understand, like, as odd as it may seem for common folk, it could get old. You know, everywhere you go, people just want to see you and shake your hand. And I can't understand because even me, after a 12-hour shift, I just want quiet. Like, I'll drive home. I don't even have the radio on because there's so much interaction, so much fighting. You just want quiet. So I get that. But again, if you're in the public eye, you're in a work environment, you're in a work setting, like he's there to greet fans. It's like, bro, take pictures with people. You're there to promote your business, your new company, Arena Club. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
Another third party grader is going to get into this, but
is that what he's doing? Jeter?
I think that's what Arena Club is like another third party grader. I mean, Tag was there. Of course, you got the big three with SGC. I don't even know if Beckett's in the big three, but CGC is there. And of course, PSA. But Tag was there with an elaborate setup. Like they brought all their AI and computers and machines. I thought that was a pretty interesting because I've watched every upload video of the National. So I feel like I've been walking that 600,000 square feet of the convention center. But so I know you Hugo went to the show and hooked up with a couple of YouTubers, and you didn't lose your mind, but you said it was like one of the best times you had since entering this community.
Yeah.
Seeing the videos, are you relating to it, or is it just like nudging you to try to go to Cleveland? Because Cleveland, all these shows, they're great, but it is an expense. You know, it is 5 days. It is flight or travel or driving. It might be cheaper to fly because gas is bananas. But what are these videos doing for you after you experience meeting other YouTubers and the community and how great it was?
Yeah, I mean, just from that time we got to hang out, I was hooked. I was like, man, this is cool. Like, actually getting to meet other like-minded guys, you know? Like, I mean, I've been to shows all my life, but I never knew anyone, you know? Nobody from my neighborhood collected, really. So it was all new, and I was like, man, I can't imagine what the National's like, you know? So, of course, I wanted to go. Looking forward to Cleveland, you know, just I got my wife's not all on board. You know, she's just like, it's gonna cost this much. You could get like a banger card, you know, and she's right. You know, I could get something really nice, but I don't know. It's like I would like to at least do it once. You know, I think Cleveland would be cool.
If I could tell you one thing, as much fun, and it was a blast. This was that moment with, I don't know, we had like 8-10 people at my house. That was my national for this year. But as much fun as everyone was saying, I was getting text messages after everyone left. You can multiply that by 100, and that's what the national is. And that's and I could get a banger card, but if I had the choice of getting like the next big card I want, I shouldn't say it, but I want either the 49 like attainable card, 49 Richie Ashburn or the Snyder. I'll the national in a heartbeat, even if I don't get those cards. Like, oh, you know what, babe? You know, if my wife is like, hey, babe, you know what? Instead of the round trip ticket, instead of the Airbnb, you could get this, you know, 1K card or a comma card. Like, the card could stay. Let me go meet my homies, and because it's the best experience in your hobby life. You know, let's keep it in perspective in your hobby life, because it's just like a college reunion or high school reunion. I forget, you got the baby face, but you're older than me. But like, so like, you know, it's a reunion of sorts. It's just like, man, talking to, you know, family members and brothers and people you haven't talked to in years. And it's just such a good time, just taking photos, chopping it up, buying rounds. It's just a good time. And I hope everyone can experience that at least one time in this YouTube journey, because it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it was like
I've never
just
had
kind of.
anything. Go ahead.
Oh, good. And I was just gonna say, you know, like what's cool is, you know, we already kind of know each other before you even meet face to face, so it's just like that seamless, you know, jump right into a conversation. Like, like we've known each other forever, you know. So that's the really cool part of, you know, these type of events. You know, you just get all that at once, and like I said, you know, try to do it once. You know, I told myself, you know, after we went through all the lockdowns and all that stuff, I was like, man, I'm gonna live it up when I have a chance to do it, you know, and like without any restrictions, and here we are, you know.
yeah, you know, I've found like almost like getting back into like fully adventurous. Like I haven't been like out of my like 300-mile area like since COVID.
Right. Same here.
It like taught me like just like, you know, not get too far. which I have to unlearn, you know.
Right.
All right, I'm terrible at. This is why I always laugh when people ask me to host, because I'm terrible. The chat's going on. We got 28 in the chat. Eric is asking for the link because he's there. My homeboy man Jeannie just texted me. He wants the link, so we might be there.
Man, Jeannie's coming.
Oh.
We might be there.
All right. It's nice. Let him rub it in. Yeah, it's good.
Hey,
Yeah, you did this the other night, and you were overrun by all the guys going, so you might as well.
Yeah.
We got my friend.
We got to make our party seem better than the national, so that they all
you know,
want
like,
to jump in.
Those guys are missing out. From my perspective, they're missing out, man. This is my first live. Like, this is gonna be a big moment.
I mean,
you know.
and I think they are missing out because like they're not on with Hugo right now, and
That's what I'm
saying.
Yeah,
they're gonna hear through the grapevine that I was on a live, my first one, and they're like, "Oh man,
exactly.
I missed that for this, you know, get together at the national. Come on, you know."
Hey,
there's a national every year, but
I see this comment. This is
a once in a lifetime.
Our friend John. Age discrimination, John. Come on.
That's true, man. I am the baby on the screen. I'm not, I work. I'm the old man, but here I'm the baby. I like it. Yeah, I'll text you 4-leaf. Okay, we got 4-leaf in the chat. RJ Collects, Adam's Car Closet, Pepino. And like I said, 4-leaf. What's he saying about so does Sammy Thunder? Oh, I guess people want to go on the chat. Oh, my boy Donnie live streams. What's up? Hello, non-national brothers. Yep. Amen to that.
Yeah. Now I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if Lou, you were there, so you didn't see it from our side last year, and maybe it was because I just know different people. But I felt like last year there was a lot more coverage, and it probably just the people I'm watching, but like, you know, you're not there, obviously. Don's not there. Eddie's not there. I saw him earlier in the chat. And I was watching. Oh, Jake's not there. And I was watching everybody's stuff. Everybody was going live or showing lots and lots of stuff. And this year, you know, there's the normal updates and stuff, but I just haven't. I don't know. I just haven't seen as much. Now maybe I just subscribed to the wrong people, or the people I subscribed to are having too much fun and they forgot us.
Yeah, I think it's more that. It's just people are doing their updates, but like if you notice my videos, I had a couple like display cases and showing the corporate area, but like most of my videos were the after parties, the get-togethers.
I know, but that's what I enjoyed because I was like, oh, he's there. Like I did see somebody's, and I saw somebody in the background. I was like, oh, I didn't know he was there. So but that's what I enjoyed. I mean, I've been to a number of shows. I've never been to one as big as the National, but the truth is the case on the table looks the same if there's one in the room or if there's a million in the room, you know.
Yeah.
And I've seen some insane cards or stuff for sale or not sale. But it's that interaction, you know, you guys all walking in together, cutting it up or whatever. I haven't seen anything yet as far as all the trade nights. Last year it was like you were stepping on people everywhere you went, and I haven't seen it. Now it doesn't mean it's not there. It just means maybe the people that I tend to watch more aren't filming it, or maybe it's not there as much. I don't know, but
maybe they're in the moment more.
Yeah,
and more zen. I got mugged just thinking about going to Atlantic City last year.
I also think it has a lot to do with the area because Rosemont, I think that's what it's called, in Chicago.
Yeah.
The setup is so nice for hotels. Like everyone has a hotel. Most of us in AC had Airbnbs where we could cut up
true.
much later. You know, you go to a hotel.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You go to the hotel room.
That's very true. It's like isolated.
Yeah. Really, I don't want to say allowed, but if you're still drinking till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, the neighbor, the family next to you in the hotel room who's not going to the convention is like, you know, they call security or calm down.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have here exclusive at Chicago.
How you guys doing? There's all kinds of modern here, man. Where's the vintage?
Too much modern?
Here. I can't find anything.
You're a
That's the guy in the next room at the hotel telling us to keep it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just call security.
That great hair, man.
Where's my buddy? Where'd my buddy go?
Yeah, where's your buddy?
Here, it's past my bedtime, so I'm gonna pass the phone off here to some younger people.
All right, do that, brother. I appreciate you.
This gentleman's half my age here. This young whippersnapper.
What's going on, guys?
Hey,
We're just out at the Lowe's bar. Oh, geez.
I love it.
So who's all there?
Cool.
Yeah, he put the mask on and wanted to hop on the live.
Golly. We are missing it. We wish we were there.
I'll turn the phone back.
Yeah. The old guy put it vertical.
Rocket Ricky Day. We got Scott hiding over here.
Oh, hey!
Adam, James, and Waldorf over here.
That's
me and James take a picture with this on tonight too.
So is this the meetup or is this the pre-meetup?
So it's hard to hear because we're in the bar area here, but
is this the meetup right here? Such an old man moment. Such an old man. I can't hear these whippersnappers.
I'm gonna get my let me see if I can get my ears on, man.
Yeah. Oh man, I miss it. Cards, brews, can't get no better. Look at this cat.
Lou Rock. Lou Rock. I'm not going to talk to Lou Rock. Just sit here. You're ditching us.
Look at this cat.
Oh
I got
man,
good hair.
I can't even hear you though. It's so much noise out here.
James is mad because he sent a
Hey, Lou.
picture with who was
Wait,
it?
are they live right now?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
we
we're
live.
live.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
What's
What's
up?
up?
Guys, it's
What's up,
not,
Adam?
not fun here. Don't worry. You're not missing anything.
I didn't think so.
Ah,
Yeah.
We're bored out of our mind. We don't know what to do.
I
Single
feel better.
tier. I don't believe you guys. I saw my man pick up a 59 Bazooka.
Lou Rock is
Mantle.
live.
What's up, guys?
Theo,
Oh wow! Look at this.
what's up, man? Yeah.
I got Rocket Rick J here.
Rock is there. Come
So I
on.
brought. They're saying something. Look, guys, I brought my own BYOB.
Man, that is so
I can hear
hypeful
you
right
guys.
there,
But
bro. Where's your flask
it's
at,
nice
bro?
seeing everybody. It's horrible here. I'm sorry you guys aren't here.
So hot.
Oh, I'm in Florida. You can't tell me about hot. It's brutal down here.
Yeah.
Anyone want to say hi?
Oh, look.
Hi.
We're back pages. Oh, we lost the feed. We lost the feed.
All right, that's a nice still shot. Oh, no.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, we got
Yes.
you. We got you.
I gotta say, this is good TV right here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes.
man. I thought they were in Chicago. This looks like Atlantic City, man.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I thought
Bad
that.
reception.
Yeah.
I see
You
it.
gotta get
I
a
see
tech in.
spinning wheel for me.
We gotta get a tech in to check his feed. Lou Rock, you have a tech over there?
Oh, man.
With IT. I mean, it's a bad combination when you have a senior citizen and technology.
Hey guys, it's really loud here. It's
All right, everyone wait for Rick. Okay, cut him off.
connection's not very good.
All right.
But,
Enjoy. Be in the
Just
moment.
checking in, saying missing you guys if you can hear this. And if you're on long enough, maybe we'll try to get.
Oh.
That's
He's
it.
done.
He's
I'm
gone.
done.
They
I'm
went.
done.
We
Yeah, that
lost
was
the
cool.
shuttle.
Oh man, I love it. The phone was backwards. He couldn't
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good time. Another
There
good.
you go. There you go.
Oh well, at least we were in Chicago virtually. That's what the kids do nowadays, right? The kids do everything
Yeah.
virtually.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
never as good as the real thing, but hey,
Yeah.
they look like
Yeah.
they have a good time spending their money. But yeah, Adam picked up a 59 Bazooka I saw today of Mantle.
Yeah, I saw that.
Man, that was beautiful.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Dougie, you say you never been. Drew, you never been. And Hugo, you think 2024 is going to be the first time? You guys
First
think
time.
it's going to happen?
Yeah. I got friends in Cleveland. I better. I mean, my sister's in Chicago. This was like my golden opportunity, but she's on vacation, man. So I lost my place to stay, and I said, no,
They give you the key. She don't trust you.
He's under the mat.
no,
man.
she don't trust me like that. I have 3 sisters, like I'm really close with. No, I'm just joking, but it's like
The
she
other
lives in
two.
Chicago for a reason, man. She left. She used to live here in Ybor in Tampa, and then complained about the heat and all that, and now she's in Chicago. Now she complains how cold it is, at nighttime. It's like, oh my goodness.
She needs to be somewhere like Tennessee or.
She was in Tennessee. She lived in Nashville before going to Chicago, and
See, Nashville would be dope. I know they voted on 2026. I don't know what happened to Hugo. Yeah,
I'm here. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm getting a call.
I'm gonna be in Nashville on Monday, actually.
Oh, cool.
Nashville's my favorite.
That's a good spot for a national, man. I think it's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's on deck.
They were talking. I saw some about Atlanta. They were talking about it, and that would be great because that's only an hour and a half for me. So I
Oh,
vote
that's cool.
Atlanta, but,
Well,
but nobody's asked me. So
Exhibitors were voting for 2026, and the 3 cities were Atlanta, Nashville, and AC.
Yeah.
Why is AC still on there?
Yeah,
I think they went with AC. I heard somebody say they picked AC. I'm like, you got to pick
AC again.
That's what they picked for 2026.
I thought Atlanta. I was hearing Atlanta had the inside track because they already have a big event in Culture Collision, good facilities, still kind of East Coast, but somewhere different. Weather's good.
Yeah, good airport. It's
that's a bummer.
Atlanta's a good city, man. And like going to a Braves game has been my best experience at a ballpark. So it would be just a cool place to hang out. You
went to the new ballpark.
The new ballpark, yeah. We went on July 4th a couple of years ago, and it was, fireworks, everything for like $20. We just walked around. There's so much to do.
Not
the
anymore,
atmosphere is
man.
awesome. The Top Shot.
Not anymore.
It's so cool.
I've got a good buddy who has season tickets, and I was talking to him the other day, and I was like, you haven't gone to many games. He's like, he can't pass up selling them. His tickets, like literally now. I will say they are dead behind home plate, but we are 5 rows from the top. I mean, it's a great like bird's eye view of the whole field, but he can sell his tickets and he has a parking pass and he's making like he goes to when he wants, he gets to enjoy it or whatever, but he sells the ones he doesn't go and he's already paid for 2024's full season.
This is the year though, right? This is the year to have to have prize tickets, right? The Braves are doing.
Oh yeah, this is
the year. Yeah, well, I mean, they won 2 years ago, so it's just and I've been to a game with them a few times. It is crazy. Like, it's not the game; it's the whole atmosphere. The way they built that thing, it's just it is the place to be in Atlanta at night. And
it is. It's
whether
like a little
you're in
city.
the game or not, it is.
Yeah.
It's right there, and it's just. Like they say that
there's everything you need, hotels and shopping and restaurants, it's all there.
Yeah.
Where I heard there was nothing there years ago, it's like just empty land.
I went the last year of Turner Field, is that what
Turner, yeah.
Right. I was at like one of their last games. And like that was actually not a bad stadium. Even in its final days.
Right.
Yeah, I always liked Turner, and for me, it was a lot easier to get to right off the highway there.
Yeah, it was like right kind of outside Atlanta.
Yeah, it was right next to the Capitol building, so there's tons of parking. Truist Park, unless you know somebody, parking's terrible, but there's so much transit in there. Now, when I first moved down to Georgia, I went to the old Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and that place was terrible. That was an awful place to watch it. That was the old cookie cutter 70s baseball stadium. And it was in the same place as, basically they just built Turner Field in the parking lot and they just swapped where the parking lot was. So it's the same location, but it was just an awful stadium to watch. It's just big concrete. I don't know how much it's changed, but honestly, the worst stadium seat I ever was at was a Tropicana. But it may have changed. I went down there back when the Rays first came in, and it was awful.
Yeah, they got new plans for Ybor, which will be a great spot because you can actually walk to Amalie, and in those rare occasions where there's hockey and baseball going on, you can do a double header. But the owners have improved it a lot, but it's still the same. I mean, it was a rush job. I think it was in '96 when they brought them over. It was a rush job. They're like, look, we already got a stadium. We're ready for a team. And it really wasn't up to specs for an MLB stadium. I'm still appreciative. People always complain. But, like today, you can ask Hugo how hot it has been down here. It's been miserable. And to have it always 70 degrees for a baseball game, no, it's never going to be canceled. I'm okay with that. And
that is the nice part about it. At least they have AC, not like Chicago National,
Yeah.
We got to rag on it a little bit, but no, Tropicana, it's for kids. Like I go a lot with like kids and stuff, and they love it. The atmosphere is really fun. Now, as far as like us older dudes, like more purists and stuff, I don't really. It's hard to get into it, these indoor, with the. I like to be outdoors, obviously for my videos, and So, it doesn't do it for me, but it is fun. The atmosphere, they do get the crowd into it. They make it, I used to love it when the Ted Williams Museum was there.
Yeah.
That was like the main draw for me. I would spend hours in that place, like.
It's not there anymore.
No,
Now they closed it.
did you hear what happened to it? Because I asked one of the employees, because that was one of my favorite spots.
No, I know they split it up, but
yeah, during the pandemic, because the family was like, well, it's not doing you any good here in the stadium where no one's attending, especially the year of the pandemic. So they sent it to Cooperstown.
Okay.
And
okay.
So I think Cooperstown had it for a little bit, and now it's back with the family. And I'm sure they're displaying it, doing their own thing, but it never came back to the stadium. But I got to hit Al Lopez. That's one I want to hit. Al Lopez Museum.
Al Lopez had a little something there that they got from the Ted Williams Museum. There was a tiny little display. I forgot what it was. I want to say it was just like a jersey or something, but it did say donated from the Ted Williams Museum. So I guess there are a small pieces scattered, but the AC went out in Chicago 2 years ago.
There was something that was contemplating with Hugo, Jason Fisher bike, Sticks and Seams, to do a road trip to Atlanta. See some fellow Georgians. Is that right? Georgians. Peaches.
Yeah. But you can say whatever you want. So.
But I go up there and watch a Braves game. That's an easy drive, and I haven't been to the new Braves Stadium.
If you guys come, you've got to come up.
Yeah, I mean that's an easy 8 hours max.
8 hours, yeah. Straight up 75
miles.
Yeah, you're straight up 75.
I think Savannah.
I'm about an hour. I'm up on the South Carolina state line, so if you keep going and you get on I-85, which heads up towards Greenville, Charlotte, up that way, like the town I live in is right next to South Carolina, but it's about an hour and say maybe 30 minutes with traffic to the stadium from my house. But if you guys came, well, okay, so Lou, I know you last year you were on vacation, not far from where I live, up in the mountains, up at Blue Ridge, right?
Yep, Blue Ridge.
And Jason was up there too, Mr. Fisherbite, at the same time.
And we ran into each other at the local Walmart.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But like that's not far from me. But anyway, if you came, so like you're talking about Al Lopez or Ted Williams thing, the Ty Cobb Museum is only 35 minutes, maybe 30 minutes from me in one direction. And the Johnny Mize Museum is only 20 minutes in the other direction.
Oh, wow.
Johnny Mize is from a town, 2 towns up from where I live. So, yeah, there he is. Look on the back. It's
cool.
Back of his card, it'll say Demorest, Georgia. And I'm not too far from Demorest. So.
I need my reading glasses.
I didn't know that.
Just trust me. It says Demorest, Georgia.
That's
cool. I didn't know there was a Johnny Mize Museum. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
To hit up all these museums. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and Johnny Mize was a big collector as a player.
I did that already.
And they keep showing it. That's fine with me. Johnny and I go way back. I'm just kidding. But John, so he was a big collector, and even as a young player, and one of his mentors that actually helped him with batting was Babe Ruth. So he actually got to know Babe Ruth well, and he had an insane Babe Ruth personal collection, autographs, personal stuff like gloves and bats that Ruth used, pictures, whatever. And then as he went through his career, he would just get signatures of guys he played with or whatever. His collection was insane. And when he passed away, I've told this before, but when he passed away, his daughter, who lived up there, inherited all this stuff, and when she needed money, she would sell little bits off because she needed something. And I know that she had sold, this is from a person who knows her, she sold a Babe Ruth game used, I don't know what it was, I think it was a glove or something, because she needed a new transmission. So she sold it so she can get the money. I mean, because she had bills just like anybody else.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. There's people I know around here, and they'll have stuff from Johnny Mize's collection because it just slowly sold off.
That's amazing.
There's cool stuff. In fact, Give me half a second. I'll show you something.
I was gonna say, at least she didn't cryogenically freeze his head.
Yeah, that was.
That,
I was gonna say, man.
We're
She could have
gonna-
gotten an engine out of it too. Engine.
man, I'd be a little annoyed if my kids did that to me.
Oh man.
Drew, what's
So
the
I'll show this.
What is it?
So there's
Oh,
my
cool.
Johnny Mize autograph ball.
Nice.
That's cool.
And so the story of how I got this, a guy who I actually work with now, who I've been friends with for years, let me get the story right. His grandmother was a bank president at the bank in the county where Johnny Mize lived, and he would go in and do his personal finances with her. And one day he walked in with a dozen signed baseballs and gave it to her and said, "I want you to have this as a gift. Give them to your sons." Okay. So apparently she had two sons, so she split it, 6 each. And then one of them, he had 2 sons, so he gave 3 each. One of those guys was this friend that I work with, and he and I traded, and this is one of those 12.
That's awesome.
Baseballs. So
Nice.
That's
and that's
awesome.
a YouTube exclusive. I've never told that story on here.
That's a beautiful signature.
It really is. But yeah, the stories.
So special, man.
Yeah.
The story, when he retired, he was a baseball lifer, and so he would just sit out on his porch, and everybody knew him, and you could just go up to his house and just sit down and talk baseball with him. He just loved people coming up and talking baseball with him. And unfortunately, I didn't know all these stories until after he passed away in the mid '90s. But otherwise, I would have figured out a way to go find his house and just go chat with him. But yeah, there's definitely still evidence around people I know that have stuff that came from Johnny Mize's collection. In fact, he was connected to a college up there called Piedmont University, and his museum is in their their gymnasium or whatever. And it's insane the stuff he's got that's in there just from his playing days, his personal collection or whatever. So,
that's good to know.
Cool.
But I'm telling you, you guys come up that. Or the Ty Cobb Museum, and he was a pretty good hitter too. But yeah, that's in Royston, Georgia. So yeah,
so much, man.
Things in the chat. Jason was asking Hugo if he's ever been to a museum by the pier, but
I got a video. I made a video about it. It's actually got the most views.
Well, that's what we were telling him. Like, there's a video, bro. John 3D.
Video on there. Yeah, I don't have that many views, but it's on there, and I go through it. It's a little boring, but that's the only video that's gotten negative comments that I've made because people, they get into like if it's fakes or reals and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, that guy's a scammer. He's got a bunch of fakes." I'm like, "Well, he probably does. I mean, he's got 5,000 autographs.
Yeah.
There's a couple will probably be fake."
People who are not from the hobby or have been in the hobby, of course. I mean, unfortunately, where there's money to be made, is going to be scammers.
Yeah.
And this guy has 5,000. Of course, one is going to sneak in. How is he a scammer? He's presenting it as real. To him, he thinks it's real. He probably talked to a third party or someone that he trusts saying it's real. But I mean, like, people go bananas. You got one negative thing, and just your whole career and past history is done. You're a scammer.
Right. Exactly. And I was like, which one is fake? And he named some guy. I'm like, I never even heard that name. I'm sorry, man.
Exactly.
But it wasn't that big a deal. I said, well, okay, it didn't hurt me any. I still had fun. It's a cool little museum. I mean, it's all baseball. I mean, how can you not like that? So
yeah, I always laugh because someone would name some obscure player. Oh, that's fake. I'm like, who's gonna fake that dude's autograph? I get Mantle, I get Hammering Hank, I get Sandy, I get those guys being fake. Yeah. But no one's gonna fake a Joe Schmo autograph or some just a minor star, all-star. Oh, that's fake. His wife,
especially on a baseball costs more than the autograph if it was real. So.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So but yeah, that is a fun place, for the locals, anyone watching. If you come down to St. Pete area, that's another draw. It's close to the stadium. There's so much going on. I mean, there's like this walkway that gives you all the history of St. Pete baseball, and it connects you from basically where the museum is to Tropicana Field. So you could just walk. St. Pete. It's really nice. They've done a good job,
And Tampa is so rich in baseball history, from
It is.
Al Lopez, Lou Piniella, Gary Sheffield, Doc Gooden. I mean, there's some heavy hitters in this area. That's why, I mean, it's still a hotbed. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh yeah,
That's-
still is. Yeah.
That's the same
Oh,
year.
dang,
Like,
I remember that.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's sweet. The Nike good, man. That's the one. They
Yeah.
had. That's a beautiful.
This
card.
is 1985. Jordan has
never seen that
the card the same year. Yeah.
You always
This
think
is a new
Jordan.
a new one. Yeah.
Are there
That's
any other
sweet.
athletes?
I don't know of any others. I think it's just the Jordan and the good.
Really?
There's Jordan good. No, there's a Lance Parrish, I think, with the tiger.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
There is.
Oh,
I'm
that's-
not. There might be another. There might be more, but there's not many anyway.
Well, honestly, I thought there was only the Jordan until I saw that. That's why it popped in my mind. Like, who else?
Yeah.
Who else has
And it's
that?
the same year, and it was for promotional use only.
Man,
So it wasn't sold.
That's
that's
dope.
beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I love that image of Gooden. That's like his best looking card, I think. You know?
Don living his glory days, because he's an old man too. When I was young, we were in Ybor City and had girls convinced that we were young. And it's true, because I mean, you look at Don, I'm sure back in his heyday, I mean, my man's 6'5". So I know when he was aerodynamic, slim, and trim, he passed off as a ball player. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have another guest, and it's not
right.
from Chicago, so the internet should be better. Mr. Fisher.
Hey.
Hey,
man?
Jason, what's up, man?
What's up, Jason?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can
Yeah.
you hear us?
Yeah, better than those other guys. So
What's up, man?
Not much. How are you guys?
good. It's
Wow.
good to see you.
Good. Considering,
How do I get rid of this side? Never mind. I gotta
Just
figure it out.
I should use Rick's I can't hear you guys as a thumbnail. We were like,
yeah.
No, we're good. We're good.
uh,
Oh, just at work.
my man Henry S. I picked my own autograph. I like Henry S, man. He's always active in my chats, man. So, Jay, I know you just came back from a trip around the world, cruising and boozing. What you got?
Yeah. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. We actually just planned another stay workout, so I wanted to jump on with Drew. We're coming to Glenville, North Carolina.
To Glenville? Where I'm not sure where Glenville is.
It's like 30 minutes from Murphy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I don't know how far you are from there. You're more
Murphy's
towards
not
Toccoa,
too.
right?
I'm what?
By Toccoa?
I'm actually in Toccoa, so I'm very close to it. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it depends on how you come up. But if you go up, well, the normal way up 441 or whatever, then you're going right by it. So
Yeah. So it's in beginning of October. I thought it was funny you were talking about coming up. I was like, I want to talk.
I'm gonna go. Yeah. Oh man, we got to figure out just side of the road or something just to see it, because that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll meet at
Yeah,
Goats on the
I'm right.
Roof. I know that's your place. So
I love Goats on the Roof. They used to have that one over by Helen, man. They had the best chocolate dip Oreos, like chocolate covered Oreos.
oh yeah.
And then they closed down.
For anybody who doesn't know, there's a sideshow attraction, I don't know, 20 minutes from where it's called Goats on the Roof, and it literally is nothing more than overpriced stuff, and they have goats that just walk around on the roof. But man, it is packed all the time.
Wow.
And the road that it's on it's a road from like Atlanta up into the Smoky Mountains, so there's tons of like people
Tourist.
going up to the mountains or whatever. And
Yeah.
and every time I pass it, because I do a lot of craft shows and stuff up in the mountains, and I'll like lean out my window and take a picture for Jason, because he always says I love goats. And I was thinking like he either really loves goats or he's pulling my leg, and I'm taking these stupid pictures every time for nothing. But
Yeah.
No, goats are my favorite animal. I don't know what it is. I just like them.
You do a little yoga?
Yeah, goat yoga.
Yeah, go to you.
Hey, homie. So
That's genius, man. Goats on the roof.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I'm
got
telling
crickets
you.
in my I got
You
crickets
can
in my
see 'em.
basement, but that's as close as I can get.
you're the wrong way, bro. No one cares about
Yeah.
this in your basement. That's just weird.
I do. I do.
But go to the roof, you can put that on a shirt.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
So,
I'll send you a picture next time I go by it.
Jason, my man. So,
Yeah.
I know since you came back from your little vacation, you had a lot of video responses. Henry S is uploading one for you right now. Are you seeing any vintage that you want to attack? Any vintage? Is it getting the juices flowing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything you want to attack? What you got on your radar, bro?
I think this year I'm going to control myself and focus on the 53 Satchel Paige.
Nice.
I want that so
nice.
bad.
I love
wanted
that's a great
it.
one. Yeah,
I keep like buying little things and not save up for it. I just want to do it.
that's on my
Oh, that's a
list too.
beautiful
But
card.
I don't know if it's it's on my list of hopefully in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and I don't even care what the grade is. It's being authentic as long as it's. I think Lewis stuff. As long as it's authentic, I don't care, and there's no like big creases in it.
Yeah. I know the price is the price. I feel like it's a little bit more attainable right now than it has been for the last couple of years. I'm sure it was easier to get before COVID, but
because I happen to have one. So
yeah,
you could get like a 3 for like $300 before COVID.
Yeah, I feel like the best you can do now is like $400 for like one that has a fair eye appeal. I kind of feel like that's where the market is right now.
Yeah, but besides
Like a
that, I
graded
think
one, ungraded.
Like
either like
okay,
graded.
graded, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, already. Just because I mean, it's kind of one of those things. If I had one in my hands, I guess it would matter, what it felt like, smelled like, all that stuff. If it felt real and it was decent, I could grade it myself. But if it's already graded at the price, I'd rather go that way.
Yeah,
that's
a great card. Yeah, that's in my top 5 probably.
Other than that, I just
that's a good card. Jason, do you go to? Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go
Sorry,
ahead.
man. No, I was gonna ask you if you do any of the local shows out there, Tampa area. Do you hit up any of the shows?
I have with Lou and Mike before, but lately it's just been rough trying to get time to do it.
Okay, gotcha. There's a guy, Uncle Dick. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Oh man,
he deals mostly with just raw. It's all vintage, and it's mostly just ungraded stuff. But he's the guy to see if you want good vintage. He does good prices and great stories. He's like 8 years old, and it's like to buy from. I think out west, west coast of Florida. He's at the National now, but the next show he should be at.
Uncle Dick is the best. So I've known Uncle Dick for years.
Oh, cool. He was big in Atlanta years ago. Yeah.
He was out of Atlanta years ago.
Yeah, he showed me. He has pictures on his phone. He's like, "Hey, 1984, I had Hank Aaron at my show," and he would like run the shows in Atlanta, and he has pictures of him and Hank Aaron hanging out. 1984. I'm like, all right, pretty cool, man.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's like, I think he's like 93 now, or 92.
He's up there.
Decade.
He's up there. He's pretty old. Yeah.
But he's got.
The power went out at Lou's house.
Yeah, I got the text.
There
he is.
All right.
He's back.
You got the generator kicked in.
Yeah, kept going.
Oh yeah,
we're hanging it in there.
I was so worried, man. I was like, "Oh, this is a disaster."
Even with no power, we still had better coverage than Chicago. So.
Yeah. What's with the AC there? They said the AC's off.
Yeah, it's just hot. They said
miserable.
80, and I'm like, whatever. At work today, it was about 96, so I'm like, whatever.
Oh man.
So sorry about that. I know you
good.
brought up the 53 Tops page. I was trying to do a little segue into my homeboy Drew's pickups because I know it's vintage. I know you didn't pick up no modern like I did.
No.
Hey, Showtime's the time. That's the way to go right now.
Yeah.
Well, so if you guys and I think you guys know this, but anybody watching, I don't really pick anything up anymore. It's not where I am. We've got other stuff bigger than cards and stuff, but I'm not going to go through why or whatever. But I happen to have a couple opportunities, we'll say, and to reacquire some cards that I had sold a few years ago, and I don't regret selling them at the time. but it's one of those things I was like, man, I wouldn't mind having that one back. So I have picked up 3 cards that I'll show. I have another one too. I forgot to pull it out. But I'll talk about the other one because I don't want to go digging for it right now. So I'm trying to think of the best order. So we'll go with this one. Okay. So first, this by far is my favorite card of this player. Okay. But I was able to get a 57 Ernie Banks.
Ooh.
There it is.
Cool.
And the reason I love
love
this
it.
card the most, because 57 is probably one of my least favorite sets. But you know,
Really?
Ernie Banks, you know,
Of the
he's
50s.
known as like Say Hey Kid, or not Say Hey Kid, the Let's Play 2, always smiling, super happy, and he was all that stuff. But he was a really, really freaking good baseball player, and he was super
Yeah.
intense to do that. And I think this is one of the only cards that shows his intensity of what he had to be in order to play baseball. Look at the size of his hands. We talk about Clemente's hands, you know, but
Great one.
Ernie Banks was no slouch. You know what I mean? He wasn't just a skinny kid that played shortstop. He was a heck of a hitter. And I've just always loved this card of his. This is my favorite card of Banks. And so, like I said, I had sold it, and I was like, you know what? I think I want that Banks back. I'm super picky on what I want, but that's
I love this
one of them I did.
57. 57 to me is one of my faves of the 50s.
Is it?
Yeah.
And I've got reason
Yeah, I
there
like
to me.
57 too.
So I'm typically a set collector. So when I look at it, there are great cards in every set, and there's terrible cards in every set. That's just the way it's going to be. But to me, when I look at a whole set, I want to know, does it get boring or redundant when you're just flipping pages, no matter who's on the page? And there are some beautiful cards in any set, but then when you look at page after page of that design or the whatever, to me as a set collector, and 57 kind of gets like that. It just kind of like the color. I understand where it was at the time. You know, if color photography was new to put on a card, you really can't count the 53 Bowman because they used a different process. But this was Topps first foray into it, and it was great for what they did at the time. But for me, it just page after page, it gets kind of dull. So it's my opinion and whatever. But there's some beautiful cards in the set. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And
It's
and
the
to
most
me,
minimalist, right? That's the most
I can
minimalist
see, I
of
can
the
see that
50s.
Yeah.
too.
yeah. And I think if you think about it, Topps, I don't know. I'm big and not conspiracy theories, but theories on stuff. But if you look at Topps is a very precise and I don't know. They're a very intentional company. Everything they've done, if you look year after year with what they've done, and this is in all the sports, but baseball because that's what we know the most. They're very, very intentional on what they did year after year, and they came out with color in 57. You know, photographs 57 and 58. Man, they just like threw color all over it. You know what I mean? With all
Yeah.
the colored backgrounds or whatever. And then to me, it's almost like 59. They're like, well, you know what? We like the color, but we're going to back off a little bit. So they have the circles where there's still a lot of color, but you're showing more than just the player image. So if you kind of look at the pattern of those sets,
Yeah.
I just that's the way I feel they kind of did
Yep.
it. And then
Yeah, and then-
go ahead.
60's like a throwback, right? Back to 56.
Well, yeah, and so they said, well, let's go back to
Yeah.
horizontal, and let's put 2 pictures in, except they're doing
Yeah.
it with color photography and not drawings anymore, like 55 and 6 or 54,
Yeah.
5 and 6, really.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
so I don't know, and maybe I'm way off on all that, but when I look at, I'll pick a card from every year from 51 all the way up through, and to me, you can see a pattern of people sitting around a conference table saying like, okay, what are we going to do this year? What was good? What worked? What didn't? What do we want to bring back? What do we want to get rid of? And I think that's one of the reasons they really beat out Bowman. Bowman was very happy with what they did, and then they had to play catch up, and they did. But then they're like, well, where do we go from here after 53 color set? And then they started playing almost copycat, in my opinion. They were trying to be innovative, but they just didn't have the same sense of what people liked, maybe. In the 54 and 5 set. And again, this is all conjecture. I really don't know. But anyway, that's my 57 Freddie Banks. So there you go. All right.
I've always
And
thought
another
too,
one.
that 67 looks like a jacked up 57, like on steroids. So if you look at 67, the team name is bigger, but the writing is similar. And then on 57, it's just the team name is smaller.
I'm like comparing in my case to
Yeah.
the one that you saw.
It's not spot on, but it looks close. It's always looked close to me.
Yeah.
Mine is the big team name.
Well, again, I think a lot through the 50s and 60s, they kept going off of what's worked and what hasn't, and they mixed stuff and they changed stuff and they altered. In the 60s, they kind of got a little boring, in my opinion. They're not bad sets. They're really good sets. And of course, there's beautiful cards in every set. But the changes weren't as drastic, we'll say. And then they got to the 70s, and then it was all over the place. You know, you look at 70 to 71, 71 to 2, 2 to 3, they are like all over the place different. You know, it's like they had a new team come in every year and say, well, what do you guys want to do? So,
Yeah.
Psychedelic, baby. Psychedelic.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely. All right,
Yeah.
card number 2. You ready? So,
Yes.
Yep.
this is another one that I sold, and I really, whatever. But here you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
That
Yeah.
That's on my top 5.
Speaking of 1960,
that's the best card of the 60s.
Yeah.
That was my first great vintage card when I was a kid. I somehow acquired that, and I still have it. It's like my most treasured vintage card.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's on my top 5. Sure.
It's really good. I mean, the card itself, the set. I like 60 when I was talking about flipping through pages.
Mhm.
1960, which I don't have the set. I've never put it together. That's a set that I could flip through and be like, yeah, that's good. That's good. Like page after page. So that's another one.
Love that card.
And then the last one, I just got this card like last week. I had made a deal with somebody, and he just shipped it, and he just got it last week. So, but going back to 57, but there you go.
Yeah, that's why I like 57.
Love it.
The Mantle, the Aaron, the Mize, the Clemente. I mean, they're just classic poses. They're just beautiful.
Williams.
The Williams, yeah. So I have, you guys have probably heard it, or maybe not. I've got what I call my 100 cards, which is really 120, but still. And that's all I have. And I have cases of all these cards. I keep looking over there because they're all hanging on that wall. But when I pick up a card, I've made a deal with myself that I have to take out a card. I don't have boxes and boxes of cards because I'm all about displays. You guys probably know. And I want to look at my collection in totality. So I have to take out a card to get a card. So for me to pick something new up, it's got to be somewhere up in these types of cards because I've got to take something out. Now I'm doing all right because they were all Hall of Famers, pretty much. I mean, there's a couple non-Hall of Famers, and of course I go more towards the 50s and into the 60s. So I've got some stuff up into the 70s and 80s. But man, I think, yeah, I took out my Roy Halladay rookie card in order to put the Mize in it.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
Yeah, me too.
But the thing is like, well, I don't keep them. That's the thing is it's a long story about why I don't.
Because of the new rock. I'll take the old. I'll support your decisions.
No.
Okay. I appreciate that, man.
I'll drive up and get them.
Yeah, when you're up here, you come on up.
Which holiday was it? Which rookie of holidays was it?
Oh, I don't even remember now. It's in my package to you. I've got a bunch of snap tights and that I've got to send you. So
I'm still bummed out about the care package I sent you for Christmas because I sent it. I should have called. I'm trying.
It's all right. That makes me so angry. So
I was hoping
people are watching. So he sent me a care package, and he and I had mailed back and forth a bit, just like you and I had, Jason. And I always had everything shipped to my work address. Well, I had switched jobs, and he didn't know. And apparently, the place I used to work wasn't happy that I left. So any mail that came from me, they would throw it away. Which I found that out. Like Lee texted me, I think it was about New Year's, like, "Hey man, did you ever get anything?" And I was like, "No." And then I found out. I was not happy. So
I sent a stack of Griffies, bro.
Oh,
You should have told me.
Well, I had to get off my chest because I want you to know I sent you. I wish I got you a stack of Griffies, man.
it was on
I'm
92 Upper Deck.
I know you got a lot of Griffies, but I figure I'm like maybe there's a couple
Oh
where they.
man, I mean, I appreciate it. I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it.
That's a bummer about your work.
That's mail fraud.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a lot of things, but you know,
Who knows?
it's just crappy. So,
That's why he left.
but well, I mean, I was there for a while, and I left. They didn't expect me to ever leave, and which is why I finally left because I'm like, look, I'm not going anywhere. I got to find something that I can go somewhere. But you know, I'm sorry. It almost happened to somebody else. Somebody else like texted me to say, hey, let me check your address one more time. And I told them, I said, oh, I still have your work address. I almost sent it there. I was like, oh, man, please
That was
don't do
me.
that. So anyway,
Yeah. So
yeah, I know federal offense, but try to prove it. I'm not
There's gotta
sure
be
that
cameras.
the mail police are going to come in and say something.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I know.
that's. I mean,
But
that's life. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it happens. But so Bob Lewis, right before the National, sent the Misfits, a text saying, "Hey, you guys interested in Showtime?" And I wasn't looking because I have a healthy amount of Shoheis because like everyone else, we all bought a lot of 2018, 2019 was plentiful, and before the pandemic. But he has so many, and I think now is the time to. I mean, he's hot, he's fire, he's going to be expensive, but he's going to become unattainable, I think.
Yeah, I looked up that last one you showed, the refractor. I didn't realize that. I have that one. I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah, yeah, that was half the price of my purchase. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like I love Heritage. I thought I had a Heritage. I didn't have. I have like Acuna and the other guy.
Yeah.
I didn't have Showtime.
the other guy.
This is a parallel.
The other guy.
These are.
Who's the other guy?
I'm deep into my vintage journey. I love vintage. I always loved vintage since my number one guy is Clemente. But when everyone talks about the eye test. The eye test. This cat is doing stuff I've never seen, and I mean, I don't see how 4 more years he'll be Hall of Fame eligible. I don't see how you don't put him in the Hall of Fame, even if he doesn't win it. He'll be a couple more All-Stars, even if he doesn't win another MVP. The funny thing is, the MVP that Judge won, Shohei had a better year than his MVP year. He actually improved.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, we could be looking at a 3-time MVP, and this cat is about to make $600 million on his next contract, which is what I think he'll be worth it. I mean, if Judge is worth $400 million as a hitter, and this guy's a frontline starter, Garrett Cole's a $300 million pitcher.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy could ask for the moon and they'll give it to him. Of course, there are like 4 teams that can offer it, but you talk about the eye tests and stuff. I mean, historical stuff, and he's making it look easy.
Yeah, he's amazing. He is like a singular talent, and this could be like, I don't know, how you compare a year like this if assuming he sees it through. Like historically, it's just amazing.
You can't.
There was a stat online the other day that his numbers right now match the time that Babe Ruth did his numbers. The same exact thing. I can't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw
think
that.
he liked it on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone sent that to me.
I know Babe Ruth didn't peak with hitting and pitching at the same time, though.
Right.
He was a pitcher in dead ball era.
How does
More or less.
Shohei?
Pitcher in dead ball era and a hitter in the live ball era.
Yeah.
To me, with him, and of course we've already stated I'm the old man in the group, so I've been around longer. But there's always a player that comes along and we say, he's a generational player. I mean, we said that about Trout, 8 years ago. Like once in a generation, you see this type of player, and we've seen that with other players.
That wasn't
But Ohtani's not even that. He's
like,
like,
you're right. he's a once
He's-
in a lifetime.
And it's well, it's not even, it's a century. You know what I mean? Like
Once in a
Yeah.
century,
when
yeah, I
the
was gonna
closest
say.
thing you can compare him to is the undeniable best historical player of all time, and then you're comparing him, not saying, well, he's kind of like, but I mean, he's like, that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? There's guys that
Yeah.
have insane skill, but not on both sides like that. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it is
It's
crazy.
If you look at it, it's once in a century, because Babe Ruth started in the early 1914, and
Yeah,
with the Red
14.
Sox, and now Shohei's best years are his rookie years from 2018. You know, that's when Babe Ruth got sold to the Reds or the Yankees. So it's like
Yeah,
it's 100 years. So I mean, it's crazy how that, you know, they saw Babe Ruth back then. We saw Shohei now.
yeah, and I mean, I do think arguably it's never happened quite like he's doing it. You know, because like Babe Ruth did pitch in the dead ball era. That you know, and back when people didn't even have windups. You know,
Right.
I mean, I don't want to discount Babe Ruth. He's the GOAT.
Yeah,
but
he's a hack.
It's
but
Shohei playing the best talent in the world. It's undeniable because you can argue, Babe. You know, you have his critics out there. Babe Ruth is the GOAT. He's an icon. We got that. But Shohei, I mean, you saw what he did in the World Baseball Classic. Now you see him in the best league in the world, straight making men amongst boys. And
so here's where I'm brilliant. Is that right after the World Baseball Classic, I sold my best Shohei card. And because I'm a genius, and you really want to get investment advice from me. But part of the reason, and it seems to make sense now, but like I was like, he just freaking was the MVP of the World Baseball Classic. He heated up, and now he's got to cool down and reheat up, and then have like a whole season. And this guy does too much already. I was thinking. So I just thought that he's a. I mean, I love him. He's my favorite player. But I thought it was go Dougie K. Yeah. So
Dougie K.
Good investment advice all day long. You know.
Gaddis for everyone. So.
By the way, guys, buy up Gavin Lux. If you get the shot, you want to buy up Gavin Lux. In fact, you want to sell dollar for dollar. You want to sell your Shoheis for Gavin Lux if you can.
Carter Kaboom.
But
Carter Kaboom. I saved up from Carter Kaboom thinking he was going to be something.
Yeah. Well, he has a good last name, you know. I mean, it's explosive. Yeah.
But if you go back to Shohei, like Babe Ruth don't have a Cy Young. Shohei's going to have a Cy Young. You know, Shohei's going to have 2 or 3 MVPs. He's rookie.
But Cy Young doesn't have a Cy Young.
That I was gonna say, they weren't really giving out Cy Youngs when
55 was the first year Cy Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, Babe Ruth got a Cy Young. He was already 8 years dead after when they started it.
Yeah.
Which would be very impressive, no doubt. But
and the thing is, I mean, 10 years of eligibility to be Hall of Fame qualified. Shohei is 29 years old, so he's entering his peak prime years for baseball.
Yeah.
And the guy's in good shape.
You know, I think.
He doesn't get hurt.
What's that?
He doesn't get hurt. You know, Trout's had injury issues, the back issue, all that stuff.
Yeah, Trout's not even the best player on his team. How's he the GOAT? Thing with Shohei, he's already had the major injury. That's how I got a whole bunch of my Shoheis. I was getting him in the dollar boxes, value boxes.
Yeah, me too. That's what I got all my Shoheis. I still have more. I haven't gotten rid of all of them, but I sold my best one.
You know what?
The good thing. What did you get with that money? Did you get another card? Did you get?
Oh yeah, it went into vintage.
Oh,
it wasn't a Hack Wilson, was it? Sorry, too soon.
No. You know, I mean, the full story of the Hack Wilson is that card ended up being free.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it was painful. It was painful, but I have a Hack Wilson to show for it.
I stand behind you, Doug.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Not everyone loved my story, and I appreciate that. I'm a very I really stir the pot. I'm just I'm controversial by nature.
You're controversial, Dougie K.
No, Dougie K is
Dougie K.
You're vanilla. Dougie K. That guy's got some fire.
All right.
Maybe
I mean, I
I
appreciate the Dougie K comment, but you don't have to insult me in the process.
You're vanilla. You're vanilla. That's messed up, really.
Oh well. All right, fellas. I didn't know how long you wanted to go, Drew. You got any
Oh,
more?
you're good, man. I just want to get on and talk. It's just good stuff. I know you got a
Yeah.
big day tomorrow, so
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah,
Congrats, Lou.
congrats to you, brother. Yeah.
appreciate it.
Big
It's,
stuff.
Hey, let's make that trip up to Georgia, man. That sounds fun.
yeah,
come on up. I got a whole room to show off. I need to show it to somebody because my kids don't care.
Jason, did
So-
you hear?
Mine neither.
Did you hear
Mine
my?
neither.
No, I was planning on calling you, Mike, Six and Seams, Hugo. Maybe do a little road trip to the Braves. It's easy. I don't know, 8 hours, 8-hour drive.
Yeah, when are you thinking?
Oh, I mean, plenty of baseball games to pick.
Tuesday.
Hey,
Come on. Hey, you know
I'm-
what? They're playing the Angels on Tuesday. So
Yes,
come on up and see
Tuesday.
Shohei.
Tuesday.
So
Oh,
I've actually got a friend going to the game, and he realized after he bought the tickets, that's the day after the trade deadline. So
Yeah.
he's really hoping he doesn't get traded.
Angels already came out.
They said they're sticking with them, which is huge.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I like it when guys stay with one team because now, like I don't like David Ortiz rookie cards. That's my favorite player ever because he's with the Twins. So it's like
yeah.
Yeah, your
you
favorite.
want it'd be nice to keep Ohtani in the Angels. It's
Yeah,
it's
but
nice.
your favorite.
Yeah. They also got David Ortiz's last name wrong for the first couple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Arias,
Yeah.
that's right.
Did you hear yourself? Your
Huh?
favorite player ever. If he took your advice, he'll still be a Twin. He would never be a Red Sox.
Yeah, that's true. But that's the thing. I don't even like his
You
rookie
was just
cards.
such a dream.
Pointless, like,
Yeah.
I'm glad he came. They gave up on him. I'm like, all right. But,
Yeah, I am too.
So it's good that Ohtani is sticking around. I hope he signs with the Angels, man. That's good for
I gotta
baseball. It's
say-
good for his image.
I think this Ohtani is going to do pretty good.
Yeah.
Coming in
That's my
strong,
guess.
Doug. Thanks for that.
I'm gonna say, give him a shot. Just give him a chance. Just give him one more
You're
try.
seeing glints of hope for the future. That's nice.
Yeah.
But
He'll be all right.
Ohtani's choice if he stays. I mean, he's staying because the Angels are choosing. Hey, you know what? We're 4 games out. The fans want it. I mean, I think they'll burn down the stadium if they're like, you know what? We're going to trade him. I mean, the return for Ohtani was going to be plentiful. It was going to be a monstrous type
Yep.
prospect. But I
Yeah.
think the Angels are like, maybe we have a shot because I think they have enough money to throw at Ohtani. But the thing is, they don't know how to build a team. They've had Trout for over a decade.
No. Yeah. They
They've
don't.
had
Bad
Trout.
signings.
You're
I
just,
mean, look at all the pitchers they have.
Rendon, Anthony Rendon is a terrible signing,
you know
but they
what?
picked up Giolito. They got a couple of pitchers coming in. I mean, they gave up their second and third.
And they
top
got Syndergaard for a little bit. But the thing is, it's not ownership's fault. Like, they're willing to write the checks.
You're willing, yeah.
It's the
the wrong
people
guy.
that have in charge. Those are the people you got to blame.
Did you say Syndergaard?
He said Syndergaard, which is what we called him as Mets fans.
Okay.
Syndergaard.
I thought I had a rookie of the year flashback. Like, throwing bagger.
Noah Syndergaard. I'm thinking it.
Syndergaard.
Hilarious.
Yeah, like a '90s band, Syndergaard, Soundgarden.
You know what?
Yes, Syndergaard. Yes, right. Black Hole Sun wasn't
Might
it
as well-
Syndergaard did that?
He's been trash.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope he does stay with the Angels because I wouldn't want him coming to somebody like the Red Sox because they're going to lose way too much to gain one person.
Yeah, I agree. Like I don't want the Mets have been in the conversation. I'm a Mets fan.
Yeah.
I don't want the Mets
Yeah.
to get Shohei because I feel like the Mets are already spending $400 million. It's embarrassing for them to get another.
And look where they got him.
Most expensive player in baseball.
Yeah.
Right.
True. Yeah, I'm with you, Jason. I don't want the Red Sox to get them. They're doing well with the young guys. Give the young guys a chance. And look, they're like the next team to they're knocking on the wild card spot. They were supposed to be one of the worst teams in baseball this year, but
Yeah,
with
now
the
the
young
Yankees are.
yeah. So I say stick with what you got. Ohtani's good in LA. Keep him there. It's fine.
Yeah.
You give me 4 years of Ohtani, you can take all the damn the maybes. Take all the maybes you want. Give me one.
Yeah, but they're not going to take. They're not going to take just maybe.
Bro.
They're going to take all your stars.
Yep.
Bro, you talking
They
about
want that. They want those rings.
Oh
Yo,
yeah.
you can take Jason Dominguez. Who we don't know what he is.
Well, yeah, you can have the minor leaguers, but they're going to take some starters because they want to chase the rings.
But I mean, Devers is off the table. I got that.
Yeah.
But who
Yep.
else?
Yeah, you ain't touching my boy. I'll drive to Boston.
The Red Sox untouchable. Who's untouchable on the Red Sox besides Devers?
I thought Alexander was, but he wasn't.
Okay.
Man.
We don't have anybody.
Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts.
They're talking about
Christian Arroyo. No, I don't know.
young guys and prospects are just a bunch of maybes. Yeah, they could be great, but you know what? 90% of the time, we just talked about a couple. Lux, Carter Kaboom. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Is it true Lux is learning how to pitch?
Give me Ohtani. I know I got Ohtani. I got a frontline starter and possibly the best slugger in the game right now. I'll take that. Especially in Fenway in that bandbox. God.
Fenway. Oh man, that's
You got Pesky Cole. You got a left-handed hitter and you got Pesky Cole. The guy's popping up hits and getting 3-run shots. You guys would die to have Shohei.
well, it'd be nice, but you know, you're giving up so much to have just one guy. I don't know.
It would take a Devers to move him.
We're talking about a once in a lifetime. There's never too much. See, that's a losing mentality. That's
You're only saying that because the Yankees suck this year, Lou.
Yeah,
I know.
saying that because the Orioles are at the top of the Orioles are at the top of the division right now.
It's crazy.
Ace is a beast right now, man. It is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
He is.
What is this? All right, beautiful people. Anything else?
All right, man.
before we get out?
No, thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you hosting it, Lou. It's a lot of fun.
No, as always.
Thanks for arranging this, Drew.
Oh, no worries. I'm glad you could make it, Hugo. It's been good talking. And I still got my trees up for you too.
I see him. I was gonna say something. I like the trees, man. It's
I don't know if you saw.
That's all I've been collecting lately. If a card's got trees in the background, I'm buying it. It's
Yeah, we were chatting, so I told him I'd put trees up on my next video. Which, by the way, and I'm not trying to plug my own video, but if you haven't watched my last one, my national video,
That's great.
I did. I
know
watched
Hugo
it.
said-
I watched it. Yeah,
Did you see it?
was good. Yes. I now I'm trying to blow my mustache up, but it's just not working.
Oh, the mustache. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to say too much if you haven't, because I want to, get my own views. But I'm telling you, Lou, every day my daughter's like, "Has Lou seen it?" Because I want Bob to see it. She wants Bob to see it because she wants to be like my little sidekick. But I've got a guest
so
star
cool.
in it, so that's awesome.
But she was really good.
I've watched it. When she's all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love the national stuff. That's how my wife knows I'm moping around, because I have it in my living room. I'm not watching it on like my phone or like on the computer. So I don't comment when I watch it on the living room.
No, I know that, and you've texted me before. And to be honest, she doesn't care if you've watched it. She wants to make sure Bob's seen it. I don't know if she's like, "Hey, there's a new kid in town," or like she's relating somehow. But the two people she asked, she's like, "Has Jake watched it? And has Bob watched it?" And the only reason Jake is because she threw some shade on Jake in the video, which I thought was hilarious. So
It was.
So I don't know if Jake's watching it. He just got back today actually from Australia, so he's pretty pooped. That's why I didn't join.
Well, when I temporarily went out of power, Jake did say, because I texted you guys, but I thought the whole live stream went down. I'm glad it didn't. But Jake just texted, "This sounds like an eventful live stream." Because I'm like, "Sorry, guys, the lights went out of my house." Well, this was fun.
Anyway.
I gotta make sure my daughter is doing everything she's supposed to be doing to get ready for this massive party.
There you go, big guy.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to tie my son's tie for, for tomorrow.
Put a clip on.
But
Yeah.
And
Well, congrats, Lou.
Yeah.
thank you. To the next live stream, and see you cats in 2024 Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Brother.
See Hugo in Clearwater or something.
That's right. For sure.
Take care.
All right. See you,
Okay,
fellas.
guys. Be good.
Go Yankees.
Go Mets.